There's something about survival games that just keep me hooked. I don't know if it's the building, the exploration, or the thrill of having to survive in a worst-case scenario. I could easily sink 5 or more hours into a good survival game on a good weekend. But sometimes it's hard to figure out which one to play. So in this video, we're going to dive into the top 10 survival games with the best replayability. And just a heads up, before we dive in, I'm not going to include the obvious big survival games like Minecraft or Terraria. For this list, I wanted to shout out some of the other games than the really popular ones. So if you guys haven't heard of them, you can try them out for yourselves. Sons of the Forest is a sequel to the cult hit The Forest, and it brings back everything fans loved about the original, but with even more depth and polished. You are dropped on a remote island after a helicopter crash, then forced to survive against the elements, hostile cannibals, and mutated creatures lurking in the dark. You explore caves and discover the mystery behind the island and its inhabitants. What makes Sons of the Forest one of the most replayable survival games is its dynamic AI and sandbox nature. Enemies adapt to your strategies and environmental hazards change with the seasons, and the island is full of mysteries that reward multiple playthroughs. Plus, you can play co-op, so you and the boys can team up, build bases, battle cannibals, and explore caves together. Rust is the ultimate high-risk, high-reward survival experience. If you thrive in a world where every player can be a friend or foe, this game is for you. Starting with nothing but a rock, you must gather resources, build shelter, and fend off not just the environment, but other players in a brutal PvP world. This unforgivable game certainly brings back the phrase survival of the fittest, and if you or your team has what it takes, it is a really fun experience that you can pour tons of time into, either by yourself or with friends. Rust's replayability is almost unmatched thanks to its evolving meta, server wipes, and community-driven events. One week, you might be building some peaceful settlement. The next, you're in a full-blown server war with neighboring factions. The social aspect and chaos that Rust brings ensures that no two playthroughs are ever the same. Green Hell throws you into the Amazon rainforest. You'll fight off animals and tribal warriors who are out for your life. The ability to capture brutal raw nature in this game is like no other. From poisonous plants, aggressive wildlife, to psychological breakdowns and diseases, this game delivers one of the most realistic survival experiences out there. What sets Green Hell apart is its emphasis on realism and player skill. You'll need to manage wounds, nutrition, and mental health, all while navigating the jungle. This game really brings to life the things that people don't think about when it comes to survival. The story mode offers a gripping narrative, but the sandbox mode is where the replayability shines. Every new game presents different challenges and survival routes, and the introduction of co-op has added even more replay value. Stranded Deep takes a different approach to survival by putting you in the middle of the Pacific Ocean after a plane crash. Your mission? Survive on a series of small islands by crafting tools, hunting, fishing, and braving open water exploration. It's a slower, more contemplative survival experience, but one that's incredibly rewarding. What makes Stranded Deep so replayable is the randomness and tension. Every new world is procedurally generated, so the placement of islands, resources, and sea creatures changes every time. Plus, with the introduction of co-op multiplayer, exploring the sea with a friend adds a whole new layer of fun. Just be careful of the sharks. Don't Starve Together is a multiplayer survival game that thrusts players into a beautifully dark and mysterious world filled with strange creatures, dangerous environments, and endless challenges. As a standalone expansion of the original Don't Starve, this version introduces cooperative gameplay, allowing friends or strangers to team up and survive together in a harsh and unforgiving wilderness. Set in a randomly generated world, every playthrough is unique with different resources, threats, and terrain layouts. Players must gather materials, craft tools, build shelters, and manage hunger, sanity, and health to stay alive. The game is known for its distinctive Tim Burton-esque art style, making it unique compared to other survival games. What makes Don't Starve Together incredibly replayable is its deep survival mechanics, seasonal changes, and expansive mod support. Each season brings new dangers, freezing winters, scorching summers, and unpredictable events like frog rain or hound attacks, forcing players to consistently adapt to their strategies. The vast roster of characters, each with unique abilities and drawbacks, also encourages varied playstyles and team dynamics.
first. They took your...
Conan Exiles is an open-world survival game set in the brutal and unforgiving universe of Conan the Barbarian. In this sandbox survival experience, players are exiled to a vast and dangerous land where survival depends on gathering resources, crafting weapons, building shelters, and battling both the environment and other players. The game emphasizes on freedom and player agency, letting you carve your own path, whether as a lone survivor or a cooperative tribe member, or a ruthless warlord. From harsh deserts to frozen highlands and corrupt ruins, the world of Conan Exiles is diverse and deadly. Players must manage hunger, thirst, temperature, and stamina while fending off hostile creatures and rival humans. One of the game's core features is its robust building system, allowing for massive, custom fortresses, intricate cities, and deadly trap-filled strongholds. Additionally, players can summon towering avatars of gods to wage war, adding a mythic layer to PvP battles. The game's replayability lies in its deep progression systems, mod support, and dynamic multiplayer. With character leveling, gear crafting, religion-based abilities, and frequent content updates. No two playthroughs feel the same, whether you're exploring solo, hosting your own server, or joining a large-scale PvP conflict. Conan Exiles offers an evolving experience with endless possibilities for strategy, roleplay, and conquest.
Oh, good!
Grounded is a unique first-person survival game developed by Obsidian Entertainment, where players are shrunken down to the size of insects and must survive in the vast, dangerous environment of a backyard. Blending a creative premise with classic survival mechanics, the game challenges players to navigate towering blades of grass, dodging predatory spiders, and scavenging for resources, all from the miniature perspective of someone smaller than a pebble. In Grounded, players must craft tools and weapons, build shelters, and maintain vital stats like hunger and thirst. The backyard is alive with threats and opportunities, from hidden labs and mysterious story elements to giant bugs with distinct behaviors. With both solo and cooperative multiplayer modes, this game fosters teamwork and strategy, especially when tackling boss-level creatures or defending your base from swarm attacks. Replayability in Grounded comes from its open-ended exploration, dynamic insect ecosystems, and continuous content updates. The game encourages experimentation, whether you're designing an elaborate fortress in a treetop canopy, customizing your gear, or exploring new biomes like the Koi Pond or Termite Hills. Obsidian frequently expands the game with new creatures, building options, and story chapters, keeping the experience fresh and engaging. Thanks to its quirky setting, the immersive survival systems, and emphasis on player creativity, Grounded remains a standout and endlessly replayable game. DayZ is a hardcore open-world zombie survival game developed by Bohemia Interactive, set in a post-apocalyptic world ravaged by deadly zombie outbreak. Players are dropped into the vast fictional post-Soviet country of Chernobyl with no equipment or guidance. The goal is simple: survive as long as possible. However, in DayZ, survival is anything but easy. Players must scavenge for food, water, weapons, and medical supplies while managing hunger, thirst, illness, and injuries. The world is persistent and unforgiving, filled not only with infected enemies, but also with other players who can either be allies or threats. Permadeath adds weight of every decision. When you die, you lose everything and must start over from scratch. What makes DayZ especially replayable is its emphasis on emergent gameplay and unpredictable player interactions. No two sessions are the same. One day, you might be building a fortified base with a group of survivors. The next, you could be ambushed by a stranger in a remote village. The game's open-ended nature encourages exploration, role-playing, and intense survival strategy. Icarus is a session-based PvE survival game developed by Rocketworks. Set on a terraformed but hostile alien planet, players must take on the role of prospectors, who are explorers who descended from orbit to the planet's surface to gather rare resources, complete objectives, and survive harsh environmental conditions. Each mission, or drop, has a time limit, forcing players to plan, act, and extract before the time runs out, or risk losing everything permanently. What sets Icarus apart is its blend of traditional survival mechanics with structured mission-based progression systems. Players must manage hunger, oxygen, and exposure to deadly weather events while crafting tools, weapons, and structures to endure. The planet is filled with threats, from aggressive wildlife to blizzards and acid storms, requiring players to adapt quickly and build intelligently. Icarus is highly replayable thanks to its mission variety, skill trees, and base building opportunities. Each drop presents different challenges, objectives, and terrain, encouraging different strategies and team compositions. Players can customize their character's skills, gear up between missions, and unlock new tech via the persistent progression system that spans across the sessions. Valheim is a Viking-themed survival and exploration game developed by Iron Gate Studio, set in a vast procedurally generated world inspired by Norse mythology. Players take on the role of a fallen warrior sent back to a purgatory-like realm to prove themselves worthy of Valhalla. The world is rich with biomes: meadows, black forests, swamps, mountains, plains, and more, each with unique resources, enemies, and challenges. At its core, Valheim blends traditional survival mechanics like gathering, crafting, and base building with light RPG progression and epic boss battles. Players must craft weapons, armor, and tools, hunt for food, and build everything from small huts to sprawling Viking halls. As you progress, you'll battle increasingly powerful enemies and summon mythic bosses that unlock new crafting tiers and abilities. What makes Valheim so replayable is its deep sandbox design, combined with emerging gameplay and co-op potential. Every world is randomly generated, ensuring a fresh exploration experience with each new game. Whether playing solo or with friends, the game supports up to 10 players in a single world, encouraging collaboration and shared creativity in base building and exploration. Some honorable mentions are The Long Dark, 7 Days to Die, and Unturned. But due to a few different reasons, I didn't want to include them in our top 10. Nonetheless, they are all games you should check out and try for yourself. That concludes our list for the top 10 survival games with the best replayability. Be sure to let us know which one is your favorite and which ones you're going to try. If you like the video, be sure to subscribe to get notified for more videos like this.